Can you imagine working a full-time job only to still be struggling with your basic needs? While others earn way more for the same opportunities? This was my world for a while because I would say some of my family has dealt with income inequality, and I want to get other people to raise concerns. This is sadly the reality for most that deal with income inequality around the world. I will explain what ends up causing income inequality and how it could affect the society and the individuals living in it. First, let's go over possible causes that could accumulate from income inequality. One of the main points is differences in jobs and education. I can go to a different school, and let's say Sally went to a different school. Sally goes to a school where they benefit on her education, and I go to a school where they don't value education and there is no money to put into the education system. Sally, at the end of the day, is going to get into colleges which equal better job opportunities. On the other hand, me, my college counselor, they probably don't get paid enough to care. So I probably am just going to go to, a school that doesn't really benefit me. So then when I get out of school, I will have less job opportunities than Sally did when she went to a better school. So there's an article, Income Inequality in the U.S. It is a study that examines 5 decades of income inequality that has accumulated in the U.S. And this is from Hardy B., Cruz, and Zelak. Multiple of these authors in this article go deeply into showing the status of how income inequality was throughout the years. It wasn't just a one-time thing. It wasn't just this year. It's been decades and decades that it has shown through income inequality once people have, benefited from going to college. This changes the, income inequality changes employment, marriage, and government tax policies with education. These examples explain why income inequality has, increased over time and what certain things have increased the income inequality. The article that I am telling you guys, it shows the data that is valuable in showing us the economic change that income inequality has caused, whether it is between families, whether it is between individuals, while it's between the people we work with. And then we can also go to changes in technology that has caused income inequality. People are talking about how AI is gonna take fast food jobs. I remember, I would say 2 months ago, me and my boyfriend, we went to a Wendy's, and when we pulled up to the drive-thru, it was an AI person we were talking to. It wasn't an actual person. And at the top it said changed by AI, and it was just an AI person. You see how that could take someone's job. That could take fast food workers' job. People are saying that AI can take accounting jobs. And AI, people are going around it because technology is advancing so much to the point where income inequality is starting to change. And how people are going to get unequal earnings and how people are getting out of jobs. And then also going to wage gaps and unemployment. According to Pew Research Center, which is a research center that studies differences in education, outsourcing, and unequal opportunities that contribute to the income inequality. We all grew up differently and all went to different schools, and we all were raised in different neighborhoods, we're in different areas with different tax brackets. Some schools had the money and the resources for a better education, while other schools, like I said, did not have the resource and education that someone else had. This can affect what schools we can get into and job opportunities in the future. Because if I go to a school that doesn't really value education and I see kids not really going to college, am I gonna go? We're all teenagers. Is the influence gonna, affect me? But then if I go to a rich school like Lake Forest High School, where everyone values going to college, that's the normal, I will try and do my best in school, and the college counselors will try to do their best to get me to that education because of the level of money in the tax brackets. Okay, now that we have learned the possible causes, now let's begin to dive deep into the effects and how it can affect everyone. This can affect our economic growth, how we grow as a community. So let's say rich people really need to start focusing on this because it's the economic, it's the world around us. It's not just their little bubble. It can affect everything. It can affect what people want to work, how people will work. And according to the drivers of economic inequality in rich, by Richard and Nolan. This article talks and reviews the major causes of income inequality in lots of countries. It's not just the United States. It's not just our problem. It's in a lot of other countries. This would include globalization, labor market institutions, and technology change in China. And Nolan tends to compare competing explanations with evaluating research findings to determine what factors have the greatest impact and which of them are. This source is very useful for us, for income inequality, to understand that it's in different countries and it's not just here, and that different countries can also contribute to the income inequality in the United States. It is useful for understanding the economic forces that end up contributing. Okay, so this increases poverty and can limit opportunities as well. These large income gaps are connected to lower opportunities for disadvantaged groups. So according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, this is development that studies how high income inequality can reduce social mobility and limit economic opportunities. These people who are wealthy, their kids will always get the better education. They'll always get the better education. And they are more, concentrated. The rich kids are more concentrated. Those are the people that people tend to care about. And the parents ended up caring a lot for them to go to a better school. So on the low end, low-income families don't get good access to education and even health care. So how can they have an advantage to help their kid get better job opportunities, to help their kids get into better schools if they are worrying about how they're going to put food on the table and what health education they could get, They can't beat generational poverty if they are still struggling how they're going to feed their kids. They're still struggling, how they're going to get health care for their kids if this is just affecting the disadvantaged groups. When they try to beat generational poverty, they cannot, since these forces of income inequality are coming at them, and they have to focus on one thing at once, which is putting food on the kids' table and getting them healthcare and getting them good insurance. And this can affect anyone that's low income, as well as CLC students that don't have the money to go, elsewhere. So they try to start cheap, which is community college, and work their way to a good 2-year by trying and earn and achieve scholarships. That is what I'm doing. I'm going to 2-year. I'm ending next year to try and earn and achieve scholarships so I can go to that good school for the next 2 years. So in conclusion, income inequality is a growing problem that is shown to affect lots of people. This can be anyone, even the students at CLC, even the rich people. Because if the economic is doing bad, then you better bet that that's going to affect the poverty. And by understanding, retaining this information, like it causes and effects to really bring light to the situation. Therefore, by hearing this information, I hope it makes you stop and think about how this is a real issue and we should work, towards a more fair society. And we should just start contributing. Doesn't matter for rich, doesn't matter for poor. Income inequality is going to affect everyone based on technology changes, based on what I just told you guys, because no one is safe. I hope I'm speaking to people that really understand how it is to deal with income inequality. And I know some students at CLC deal with this as well. And I hope this can bring light to the real issue. And, we can just strive to work more for a fair society. Thank you guys. Have a good one.